Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I have a stamp set to celebrate the father and or father figure in your life, featuring a classic car design. Now, to emulate what I believe is more classic car, I have gone with a black and red and white color palette. It's giving definitely a little bit of a colored candy cane moment, but it makes me think of all the metallic and sparkly paint jobs that go with the iconic classic car look. So if these colors don't speak to you, of course you can change it up, but I had this really fun striped metallic-y red. And in addition, I have 3 jacquard colored ink pads in frost white, ruby, and black. I also have my tape glue runner, some clear blocks, and I have 2 separate heat embossing powders. This is in the color white, and this is in the color tinsel embossing. So looks like in the color, ruby, yes. So we have 2 rubies. In addition, I have already cut out all of my elements that I want for my card, and I've kind of laid them out in the way that I want the card to turn out. However, before I even do any of that, I am going to be heat embossing this black background with some of my cars that I have here. So it'll be almost like a blueprint. And I have already adhered my metallic red. This is just a 4x6. And I've also done that with the circle and the same paper. I'm gonna set those aside. And I'm just gonna get straight into it. So I'm gonna open this guy up. Set that aside. So I have my frost white, and I also am going to have my white embossing powder, just so it is a nice bright white and not kind of a muddier or almost gray. I want it to be as bright as possible. So I'm thinking I'm just going to kind of stamp around and a little off the edge. I'm not looking for a perfect grid. I just want it to be randomly thoughtful. Get that nice and soaked. And I think I'll go off the paper a little bit over here. I am working on a textured cardstock, so you really want to try and get as much of that block down. I did kind of miss a little bit, but I'm not gonna freak out about it because it's okay. If that bothers you, you can flip the card over and try again, but I'm gonna keep trucking along. Really pushing this down. And there we go. It might help also if you stand up, and that way you can really use your body weight to push down. And that was even better. If you really, wanted, you could even kind of put like the wheel up here. There we go. That way it looks a bit more seamless. Might even just do a little corner. Push that aside. And I'm just doing really lightly, sprinkling my powder all over. Always cap it, because if this gets accidentally knocked over, it's going to be a big mess. Can lift this up. And as you can see, that brightened it up even more. So the legibility has greatly improved. Open this back up. Now I am working with a textured paper, so there are going to be the little grooves that the powder will get in. Just take a little brush or gently kind of pretend you're blowing a bubble. I'm not going to get all of those fine grains off because it doesn't bother me. I think it kind of adds to the texture, and I'm going to be also covering with my circle, so no big deal. Cool. As you can see, it's this very unique, kind of lightly textured, a little grungy effect, and with just a hint of a reflective shine. Definitely would do another heat emboss on this textured cardstock. I think that is very unique. I am gonna set that way aside so it doesn't get any mess or smudged or smeared or whatever. I'm just gonna avoid that at all costs. I'm gonna take my next car, and I am going to do another stamp, but instead of white, I'm gonna go in with this ruby red. All right, now I just did a quick wipe down of my block. Gonna get my car back. Oh no, that's a nice red. That's exactly what I think of. And I really want my stamp to be nice and saturated, because with these silhouettes, it has this really cool shadowed effect, and I want to be able to get all of those nooks and crannies filled with ink so that my car really stands out. And I'm going to hit it with some embossing powder, just so it really gives that nice shiny effect. So essentially what I'm really taking my time on is the layering. Now I have my initial layer of my white card, the second layer, the metallic paper, the third, this black textured paper, and then finally one last one on top. So I'm just working from the top up so that I can have a good foundation. I think I might have it maybe a little more in the middle, because I really like this background and I don't want it to get completely covered. Now what I have here is just a simple Happy Father's Day, and I'm going to tie this red color back in because I think it is a nice statement color. However, if you think that a black would work, do that. Maybe you have a completely different paper background. Whatever makes you the most content. The font here has an ever so slight, almost ink pen texture to it, which I think is very nice and ties back into all the other effects that I have going on here with the textured cardstock to the heat embossing. Nothing is super clean or perfect, and that's what I like. And I'm just really pressing my finger along the path of the stamp. Otherwise, you're going to start to rock the block, and that's going to give you a double exposure. And you don't want that. And I'm going to get out my little foam feet. If I can actually pick this up. There we go. And I'm gonna go around the perimeter. I could even put one in the middle so it doesn't get that sunken look to it. My truck already has this kind of wave to it from the heat gun, which happens. So I'm gonna work with it instead of against it. Since it's already popping up, I'm just going to help it along and make it stand up even more. I'm probably going overboard with these little foam feet, but I want everything to be stable and I want it to stay put. So I'm all done. I've added meticulously these tiny little glitters onto the card, and I think it really just pops and creates the almost entire composition and brings it all together with my metallic red to my glittery truck to my metallic little sequins. Also, this really fun, a little rough around the edges font paired with my textured background really just creates a wonderful sentiment for a Father's Day celebration. Now, we would love to see what you will create using our stamps, so please hit us with a hashtag on social media, hashtag #StampWithUs. Again, that's hashtag #StampWithUs. We can't wait to see what you will create next. Thanks for joining.